Hi, guys. Hello, Taurus. Welcome back to MonAndU. It's been quite a while since I've sat down and filmed. I was taking a class, getting my home in order, doing some family transitions. Essentially, I was just very busy at home, making sure that my home life was really grounded and stable. And I opened your guys' energy, or I opened to your energy and your messages back in the very beginning of March. Like March 9th was when your channeled messages came through. And one of the things that I personally have been learning about my own Taurian energy is to slow down. You know, the kind of tortoise in the hare moral of the story of, slow and steady wins the race. Now, I'm not saying there's any kind of race here, but this is about kind of coming more fully into the energy and the nature and the flow of Taurian energy. And right now, your ruler, Venus, is retrograded, which means that there is a more impactful energy of how Taurus flows and what we can do when faced with chaos, when faced with change, when faced with the stressors of the world and the scope of them, the magnitude of them, and how we can kind of either choose to get overwhelmed or we can choose to turn our focus back upon the priorities that matter for us. Interesting. Well, what a way to start it out. I did not expect to, hit record and get everything situated and set up. I cleared the energy with some Palo Santo. I've got a gold candle burning for your energy. I set it with a silver candle and now it's gold, which tells me that over time, there will be that elevation up to the next level for you, Taurus, moving from that silver into gold. Wow. Okay, sorry. I just looked down at your channeled messages and I was like, oh, I completely forgot what I had channeled. Wow. I was like, how do I approach this? So you guys are going through this kind of elevation phase. It may not seem like it. And because it may not seem like it, that is why these messages are coming through and why they are meant to come through today. So I am actually filming this on the 22nd of March. And I just looked down at my time that I started channeling your messages the first time, March 9th, 2025, at 8:24 a.m. And I looked up at my clock and it was 8:25 a.m. So that's telling me, again, that's that confirmation. One step forward. It may seem like it's only 1 minute, and I wanted to say minute, so small. It may seem very small, very kind of forgettable or debatable on how important it is, but each and every small, minute step that we take in the direction of our soul, in the direction of our hearts, in the direction of our passion, in the direction of our truths, each and every one of those small steps creates huge ripple effects through our energy, our life, and in the world as a whole. I'm going to go over just the kind of technical details of this reading. So over here, we have the overall energy for Taurus for this message. And then I have 3 piles and I will timestamp them in the description box. I wanted to give a more specific and personalized view in. So if you have a Taurus Sun, the first pile will be for you. If you have a Taurus Moon, the second pile will be for you. And if you have a Taurus Rising, the third pile will be for you. With this energy, I'm feeling, definitely feeling the Mercury retrograde on a more personal level. But I'm also feeling like this isn't the time and place to go over what the Sun, Moon, and Rising are in a deeper context. It's more about getting you guys the messages at this time, like as though you guys have really been waiting long enough. It's been long enough, kind of thing. You weren't ever intended to have to go through a waiting process. Some of you may not have realized that in this energy, in this state, in this phase, the process that you're in is not actually a waiting process. It's one in which you're learning the discipline of small progress, small steps, slow movement, dedication, trust, resilience, and devotion to these small or minute moments. If there is any sign, and I know Capricorn could, make an argument on this one easily because they would be the closest sign. But of all the zodiac signs, Taurus, you understand the nature of keep moving forward. Just keep going forward. Keep pushing. Keep doing the work over and over and over again. You understand that not to the scope of Capricorn with the responsibility and needing that success, but because you understand that stability takes work, security takes work. And if you put in the work, then the enjoyment and the pleasure of this earthly experience and of the things that you desire for yourself is that much greater because it's something that you have earned the hard way. You've worked for it. You have really done the cultivating and the planting and the tending and the tilling and the weeding and the harvesting of the things that you truly enjoy in life that make you feel this sense of beautiful perfection in the world and you within the world. You're the one that has that just innate quality about you, and being able to navigate your way through these times where it feels as though everything in the universe is saying, no, stop, it's not right, it's whatever, but you're saying, no, I understand that may be how it seems outside. It may feel that way on and off because of whatever is occurring. But I started on this journey because of my heart, and my heart is still pulling me this direction, and my soul is still calling me forward. So I know whatever this is, it's just a moment. It's just a minute moment in which I have to move a little bit slower. Wow. Okay. So Taurus, let's get into your channeled messages. Then we'll touch on the overall energy, and then we'll go ahead and go into the Sun, Moon, Rising cards. So on March 9th in the morning, I sat down and I had been hearing the same two words for an entire week at that point. I had been hearing chaos and conflict, chaos and conflict. And this is why I paused earlier, because I forgot the context of this beyond like the very bottom of it, because it's tied to the cards. I had forgotten about this part. And so for me to be talking to you about the chaos and that nature just shocked me because it's still very prevalent. It's been nearly a month. It's still very prevalent, but it's still very important for you to have this. And none of this information was accessible to me until now. And that's the nature of that consistency. I'm going to consistently move in this direction because I know it's what's right for my heart. but there may be energetics outside of myself in which I have to take it much slower. So I heard how you choose, how you find comfort, and how you handle the situations in life, with like a ... as in these are things that may be coming up to the surface of your conscious mind. It may be coming up from your subconscious. It may be coming up from your unconscious. It may be presented to you in terms of external situations and occurrences that are asking you to look at these different things. And when I say asking you to look at these different things, I'm not saying somebody is like knocking on your door like a Girl Scout trying to sell her Girl Scout cookies, which I'm not going to get into. It's Girl Scout cookie season right now in North Dakota. And the amount of we have to resist if we ever go out of the house to a store. It's insane. And why do they make those cookies so good? If you know, you know. But, you know, these questions are not going to be posed to you by someone knocking on your door and saying, well, how do you choose? How do you choose different things in life? How do you find comfort, Taurus? How do you handle the situations in life that X, Y, and Z? How do you do this? But what you will find is that you'll come up against somebody who does it in a different way, or someone who does it in a very similar way as you, but their process may be different, or they may add additional steps in that you hadn't thought about. And so there's these tiny little things that come in that ask you to take a higher perspective and see that where there appears to be chaos and where there appears to be conflict, is it possible that the outward appearance is not accurate to what is transpiring energetically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, spiritually within you? Can you allow for these situations to be the universe and your guides and your ancestors and angels trying to come in and help you, trying to help you navigate through as we're all going through this turmoil? And it's presenting in a multitude of different ways, and then it's presenting on a huge worldwide scale. But for you, it's presenting in this way or this way or this way. And I can't speak to that because I'm not you and I'm not living your life. But where have these questions been presented to you for you to dive a little bit deeper inside of yourself and see that while you're making that very headstrong progress forward, while you're still taking those tiny steps, look, you could incorporate this and ease the load that you feel so that the pleasure that you want to go and experience, the enjoyment of life, the sensuality, and I can't find the word. It's I want to keep saying the word textile for some reason. Like I just keep hearing textile. And then I hear tensile, and I don't know. Neither one of those words came through before, but it's essentially the physical experience of life. And we call that sensuality in different contexts, but this is about the pleasure of the taste, the pleasure of the smell, the pleasure of the sound, the pleasure of the feel of being human. And when there's all this weight on your shoulders and there's all these things going on, it's hard to let yourself be like, okay, I'm going to engage in this without feeling guilty, because there's still so much to do. And you are very stubborn in that way. You really are. You're stubborn in that way. It's a beautiful way of being stubborn. You want to get to this point and you're going to keep going. So the universe is coming in and your guides, and however you identify the energy around you to help, it's presenting to you in these things that appear to be chaos. They appear to be conflicting. It may be in interpersonal relationships. It could be at work. It could be just you seeing something that elicits something from within yourself, but it's asking you important questions, not just the questions that I channeled, but very important questions for your journey. And then I heard, in the dawning light, you see more clearly all that exists around you and exists within you. And that, again, is what the universe has been saying. The light is breaking. Your zodiacal season is the next one to come up. We are in Aries season now. Next comes Taurus. So you're in that spring energy, right in the middle of the three zodiacal seasons, and you carry us into Beltane, into love, into that really getting in touch with nature and getting in touch with the heart. Everything that exists around you exists within you. We manifest our lives and we don't realize that we're doing it. And I am no stranger to that. I am not a perfect person and I am not a perfect manifester. And I've had to come to terms with a lot of things that I've manifested as repetitive patterns in my life in order to learn important lessons. I had to face the ways of my upbringing that didn't help me, that didn't serve me, that didn't provide for me things that I felt I needed. And then allow it to be okay. Allow myself to let it go because I am different. I am not that person anymore. And through a lot of the work that I've done, I've watched my life change, but not in huge, monumental, sudden, like massive overhaul, winning $1 billion lottery kind of way, but in slow, steady progress and work. And that actually is a huge change in my current life that had me not coming to do this filming until now. There needed to be that kind of resonance on a much deeper level, but also on a very personal and external level. And I'm really honored to resonate with your energy in that way. What I was seeing after that were these bar partition doors. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen like an old Western saloon kind of movie or whatever, where you have these two doors that swing in and out. But that was what I saw. And I saw the doors that were like this, like one was swinging in and one was swinging out. So they were moving in opposite directions. And then I saw the color green. And then I got green means go time. Okay, go time. So green means go. And then I pulled your cards. And after I pulled your cards, I was like, oh, I know what this is automatically, because it's, again, another cycle of retrograde, but it is Mercury's retrograde. So we have, I'm just going to shift right away. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse, and then the card Messengers, and it says Guardians, Divine Orchestration, and Calling in Support. And this is what we were talking about with questions being posed, messengers. And then we have Leo, the card number 19, and it says the Hero on it. And it's got a lion in the middle of the sun. I'm not going to pick that one up and bring it over for you. So to me, this was talking about, with the Knight of Swords in reverse, the number one thing that came through was focus. Trouble focusing, trouble concentrating, or putting your focus in other things so that you're missing the messages. If you're putting your focus in constantly being the hero for other people and you're not being the hero for yourself, your guides, your messengers are here to say, hey, let's redirect. Let's redirect our focus. There's going to be an important time frame. Whatever happens during this time, I can't tell you. It will be for your experience. But I got Mercury retrograde in Leo, then July 17th to August 11th. And then I got Lionsgate messages are coming to you, Taurus. And you came through in like capital letters, very, very hyper emphasized, as in Lionsgate this year, which opens July 26th. Lionsgate occurs on July 8th, I apologize, on August 8th. And then Lionsgate energy closes on August 12th. And I encourage you guys to do any kind of research into it if you feel so called. I really love 13 Moon Tarot's readings because she does such a beautiful job of really accessing that energy and providing it to the collective so that we can be preventative. The word prevent really wanted to come through. So it sounds like there's something that is trying to help you prevent anything. The number one thing that I'm getting for you, Taurus, is the energy that they're trying to help prevent is massive levels of putting your focus in the wrong area, putting your focus in someone that you perceive to be a grand hero, or putting your focus into becoming the hero rather than listening to the divine guidance. Because sometimes when we hear the divine guidance that we're receiving, we don't necessarily like it. But it's never there to harm us. It's never there to hurt us. It's there to help us. Always. Even when that's hard to see. All right. That is the overall message for Taurus. I know that these are Sun, Moon, and Rising placements. And that's a very specific thing. If you choose to stay for the whole reading, awesome. Thanks, guys. That means that there's definitely messages flowing through this whole reading. However, if you are guided to just one or two, depending on what your placements are, absolutely. If you don't have any placements in Taurus, but you're still pulled to one of them for whatever reason, please trust that. This whole message is really about recognizing yourself as the one who chooses. How do you choose? How do you choose, Taurus? So let's get into Taurus Sun. We've got the Harvest Moon with Gratitude, card number 7, the 6 of Pentacles, and Hidden Portal. It says alternate routes, look closer, creative solutions. Okay, so Taurus Sun, these are really beautiful energies because it's talking about the nature of balance, of harmony, of flow together. I love being able to see different 6 of Pentacles cards that deviate from the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot because I really do love the traditional one, especially Los Caraballo's version of it because of the different colors that he uses in, I think they're tunics or something. But in that one, there's the overall like meaning of the card is about an equal give and take, but it smacks of Robin Hood and the tax collected and then given to those deemed worthy. And we can look at that situation and be like, well, that person earned it and whatever. And but there's a person on their knees begging for help. Did they earn it? Or was it something that was decided to be given to them? Or have they earned even more than that? But the man who has the purse is not giving all that he could out of greed, out of selfishness. In this card, however, we have all of these interlocking hands holding the pentacles, and they're forming a 6-pointed star. I want to say it's called the Star of David. I'm pretty sure it's called the Star of David. And what that is it's this combination of divine masculine and divine feminine. It's a combination of fire and water. It's a combination of earth and air. We're blending the energies together in order to harmonize with each other, to flow with each other. Each piece is its own individual section, but they're all flowing together to form this auspicious figure that is a figure of union, unification. When we want our life to come back into balance, we can learn from Mother Nature. We can learn from the elements. We can learn from ourselves. We can look at the different areas in our life and be like, what is it in my life that I am not recognizing I have the ability to bring back into balance? And balance means something different for everybody. It's not always about things being equal, but it's about the emotionality, the physicality, the spirituality, the psychology, the fullness of this and that, and how it either rejuvenates your energy, expands your mind, fulfills your heart, fulfills your life, or whether it depletes you. It can do a great many things in the positive or in a beneficial and growth aspect, but does it do, if you look at the negative overall, that same negative will continually repeat. It will be that continual depletion. You'll be tired. You'll be resistant, moody, frustrated. Things will seem to continually go wrong until you address it, until you move into it. And that's where we have here the harvest moon and gratitude. We live in a world of polarities, and we're not always grateful for that. And I find it funny because I'm wearing a black and white tank top, but I'm also wearing a gray sweatshirt. And the gray sweatshirt is really what happens when we find some sort of balance. And the gray could be a dark gray, it could be a light gray, it could be a heather gray. And that just comes from different amounts of white and black being mixed together. When we look at this world of polarities, we can see one aspect, we can see another aspect, we can see that they're opposites, or we can see that in those opposites contains a more whole way of living, way of experiencing this reality. And gratitude goes a lot further than you guys think. It really does. It doesn't have to be excessive or forced. Can you look around you in your life right now? And do you see something that you're like, oh man, that really helps me. That really makes me feel happy or, centered and calm or successful. That really makes me feel loved. And when you can identify those emotions, essentially what you're doing is you're showing how grateful you are to have that in your life. We don't always know how to do that. I tend to put it into the concept of the past, as in like, wow, I'm really blessed to live in a day and an age and a society in which I can actively access rare crystals or cleansing tools that my parents couldn't, because they did not have such open flow like we do. And I feel very grateful for that. In a modern world, in a world of chaos, sometimes that gratitude is the difference between falling down into the darkness and into another dark night of the soul, or being able to recognize that the darkness exists, but making a different choice, choosing to hold the darkness, but also choosing to hold the light and choosing to move in the middle of it. And that's that hidden portal, that creative solution. You get to choose all these different ways. Choose the things that fill your life with gratitude and that the universe is able to give back to you in abundance. When you listen to your guides, when you listen to your heart, when you listen to your soul, you find a lot of different ways that you can move. Ways that you may not have seen before because you have narrowed a perspective or a perception. And that happens to the best of us. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. And then I have spend hours or days journaling in order to unravel the tangle that I made of my own mentality. We all work and flow in a different way, but the universe is saying there are things hidden that you can't quite see yet. This small, steady steps may not feel comfortable for you. But if you listen deeply to yourself, you'll see that there are things that you can bring together, these creative solutions that you can bring into your life and into form where form should not exist, or so they say. And from that, harvesting crops in balance in the future is this beautiful equality in which you're harvesting crops that you've done the work on, but that you don't have to work to excess because all the different pieces do their own work, carry their own load instead of you. All right. That energy shut off really fast. So that is the message for Taurus Sun. I'm going to go ahead and set these over here, and we're going to go into Taurus Moon. All right, Taurus Moons. Hi, guys. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump right in. We're going to keep going right away with these messages. We have the flower moon with bloom. And then we have the Two of Swords. Oh, what a beautiful Two of Swords. I love this card. And we have harmonics, vibrational medicine, shared resonance, natural tones. Okay. First of all, with the bloom card, the flower moon, you guys can look up when the flower moon falls. Actually, I can check that because I feel very pulled to doing so. I don't want to accidentally blow the candle out, though. Okay, where are we? 8, 3. We're on an adventure. All right. The flower moon is a Taurus and Gemini moon cycle. That's what I thought. I was really pretty sure that it generally tends to fall in April. I want to say after April to early May. But it really depends on what the cycles of the moon and the sun are at any given point in time. But it is a Taurus and Gemini moon cycle. And rather than reading anything further to you guys, it says bloom. Now, I love this Two of Swords card. It's absolutely beautiful. And it talks about as above, so below. Swords cards tend to get a bad rep. Swords are sharp. They cut. We bleed. So we see these cards as though they are, moments of pain or anguish or indecision. And in a way, the Two of Swords is a card of indecision, if we choose to see it that way. But swords really are the representation of the mind, the intellect, air as an element, and communication. As above, so below, if you don't know, is a concept that is from Hermes Trismegistus, all the way back with the Emerald Tablet in ancient Egypt. And it talks about how what exists in the higher realm also exists here on Earth, also exists in the lower realm. What we contain within ourselves, we find in reflection in our outer world. As above, so below. As within, so without. When we're working with Two of Swords cards, this is as within, so without. This is about recognizing with clarity of vision the different points of view from both the shadow and the light that you contain within you of what is the most important for your heart, for your soul, and how those two blended together in full awareness in your energy in your life is made manifest through speaking manifestation, I don't know, tools, statements. It's kind of like, we've got this harmonic. So with shared resonance, it's saying, I don't even want to, like, every time I want to do say something that's almost like a traditional form of manifestation, I get this like halt energy, which Mercury's in retrograde. And I understand that there's just a little bit of like, I can't talk very well. And that's just because of my interaction with Mercury. It's not a common thing in my life. What am I doing? Okay. Spirit guides, can you help me to talk to Taurus Moon in a way that they will understand? Okay. Oh, green means go, guys. That is actually one of those moments. I asked to be able to talk to you in a way that you would relate, in a way that you and I would connect. And all of a sudden, that blockage and the way that I'm able to let the words flow from me now are able to flow. I'm not trying to teach you. I'm giving you suggestions. Only you are going to know what is contained within you. You're not going to see it in the outside world. I'm going to be here to, give these confirmations or these messages. And please, I genuinely am asking. Ask yourself if this is a confirmatory message, if you have already received signs, synchronicities, messages in this same vein, rather than allow me to dictate anything going on inside of you, because I'm not you. I am the vessel. I'm the messenger. So I'm putting this up here because we all resonate at our own frequency. The earth resonates at its own frequency. They say that it's 7.83 hertz, but you know what? It has changed and fluxed so often, and I watch the Schumann resonance regularly, enough for me to say that all of our normal is not normal. It's some generalization that we feel more comfortable in, because that way we can attempt to create sameness. But do you want to create sameness, or do you want to blossom into the fullness of who you are? And you don't have to know who that is. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, I want to do that, but who the hell am I? That's okay. That's a really good starting point. If you're sitting there going, I have no idea who I am, how the hell am I supposed to bloom in my life? There you go. Now you are recognizing, as within, so without, as above, so below. Now you're recognizing these are these pieces that I'm struggling with within myself. How is it manifesting in your life? And when I say manifesting, what do you see in your life that makes it feel as though you, I feel made fun of by your guides in a loving way, but it's like being an aspiring gardener, but every time you go out to garden, you have a brown thumb, you don't have a green thumb, things just die. And the reason why I say they're making fun of me is because I struggle with plant life that is real. These are not real plants, but I really wanted plants in my house. So thanks, Taurus moons. But this is, what are you seeing out in your world that makes it feel like you're not doing as well as you genuinely are? What clouds that perception? What makes you feel as though everything that you plant just dies instead of blooms? Look at these things and then start talking in ways about these things, about yourself, about the dreams, the wishes, the hopes, all of it. Every good thing. Talk about possibility. Talk about impossibilities being possible. Talk about your heart. Talk about your soul. Talk about the things that you love, even as kind of childish as they may seem, or anything like that. A really good example that I can give you that I'm being shown is my husband. My husband is a great guitarist. He would not say so because he doesn't put a lot of time into it. Because there's that comparison game. But he can pick up a guitar and listen to a song and play it. He taught himself the chords. He doesn't have any formal training, but that's what he does. He can listen to a song and hear all the different parts of the music. When Sleep Token's Emergence came out, he was so thrown off by the drums because they don't follow the like time pattern. Yeah, see this, now I'm getting back into areas that I'm not familiar with. Anyway, and I always sit and I'm just so in awe of it because he's so good at things, but he doesn't see that for himself. And he has a Taurus moon. So there's this energy of recognizing if you say something, but then you defeat it afterwards, if you say something, but you keep that kind of like, even just a tone of voice, like, yeah, I'm okay at the guitar. No, you're great at the guitar. Or, yeah, I like playing football, or I like running marathons. No, I love doing these things. These things make me feel so great. I get to be a kid again, as though I'm in, high school sports. And that was such a great time for me. Or I love to read. I love to read myself. I do. And I tell myself, well, if I'm reading and the benefit of it is just for enjoyment, but I have, studying to do, or there are readings that I can sit down and do, or whatever, maybe I should just put it off. But the more that I give those moments to myself where, okay, no, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to read for myself for pleasure. I'm not going to read it because I want spiritual growth. I'm going to go and I'm going to read a young adult, supernatural, paranormal, romance, fiction novel, which is ones that I love. And I'm just going to let myself experience it. I'm going to let myself dive directly into that world, and I'm going to envision all of it. And in that, what I'm doing is I'm freeing my creative energies. I'm opening that up. I am allowing myself to bloom internally. There's this question of what is resonant within yourself. And only you know that. You're the one that has that perception, or that perceptive, keen perception. Thank you. The keen perception that accompanies a bird of prey, that accompanies a hawk flying above. But there are two hawks and they're both flying. So whether it's reversed or whether it's upright, the energy is the same. Appearance may be different. Energy is the same. It's about the harmony. It's about the harmonics. The biggest piece of advice that I'm getting for you guys is get back in touch with the things that make you feel alive and young and youthful, and don't try to attach it to something of value in a monetary sense, or a, adequate time usage kind of thing. Just let it make you feel alive. Let yourself engage with it. Let yourself enjoy your life. That's your message. We are going to move on to Taurus Rising. All right. Taurus Rising. Hi, guys. This reading is longer than I thought, and at the same time, kind of as long as I thought it would be. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into your messages. We have the Sage Moon with Purify, card number 12. The Two of Wands. I'm going to show you this real quick, because we have what looks like. It reminds me of Metatron's cube, but it's not Metatron's cube. There's overlapping figures. Anyway, I actually was drawing that just the other day. 13 Moon Tarot's most recent collective reading might be something you guys want to check out if you haven't already. I'm just picking it up from the symbol, and I know that I was so like, that symbol hit me so hard when I watched her reading that I literally drew it out in my journal, and I'm not an artist by any means. Anyway, okay, let's move on. And then we have Choose Your Adventure. Oh my God. I have a collective reading that I have to film to come after this, but I knew it was connected to this energy. I knew it was connected to Taurus energy, to Uranus, to Venus. And one of the primary messages that came through was choose your own adventure. I'm sorry if it's really loud when I'm doing that. I'm just like, okay, now we're here. It says lucid dreams, conscious discoveries, and manifestation. Are some of you guys a double Taurus? Or are you here for multiple readings? Because I feel like I'm just continuing talking from where I was before. So we're going to go directly to this Two of Wands card. The Two of Wands card is talking about the coming together of two pieces within the unconscious mind. This is about creativity. This is about creating your life, your world. Normally, the Two of Wands is I'm going to sit and I'm going to look out into the world and I'm going to wait for my ships to come in and I get blah, 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 whatever. No, this is not that energy. This is literally like, I'm not going to wait for it. I'm going to make it happen. And this is what is open and available for you when you find the door. And the door is found through a purification. Now, as I was in between the original channeling on March 9th and now, I've been having the craziest dreams. And when I say the craziest dreams, I mean like there was one dream where I was running in some sort of, I don't know if it was a playhouse or a maze. It definitely had maze-like qualities, but it wasn't a hard surface. It was like a pillowy surface and it was all seafoam green. And to move from one section to the next, I had to slide in this like tube and fabric-y tube and whatever. Like I've never experienced anything like that before. I'm used to floods and chaos and whatever. And at some point in that dream, I realized that I was dreaming. Now, I don't have a natural gift of lucid dreaming normally. And I also have never taught myself to lucid dream. But there I was lucid dreaming. Even if you don't lucid dream, even if you're just having these really vivid dreams and you're waking up and you're going, what the heck was that? No matter how chaotic the dreams may seem, and please believe me when I giggle because my dreams they're just so crazy. But no matter how chaotic and how confusing they may seem, that kind of chaos and conflict energy, there's a factor in your subconscious mind that is coming through during those, that is acting like a catalyst to ask you important questions. It's showing you that if you engage with certain things in your life, your dreams are showing you what your conscious life's path right now is, so that you can understand what is manifesting already. Not what you're aiming to manifest, but what you already have manifested into your life. Why it's manifested, whether it's been by intentional design for your life from you, or whether this is something that has become what we would call a karmic pattern and you don't know how to break out of it. Some of the ways to break out of it, and they say to purify it, cleanse it, release it, let it go. How do you do that? You do that by recognizing not just that there is a pattern, but you recognize why the pattern exists and how it manifests. So when we have that pattern of certain things, Sometimes it's based off of observation. Sometimes it's based off of experience. More often than not, if you sit down with yourself and you sit down and you close your eyes, or you pull out a pen and a piece of paper, or you journal, or, if you have like a notes app on your phone and you want to use your phone, or you want to use a voice recorder so you can listen to yourself at this moment in time. Again, to review it, to keep moving through this. What you can do is start talking to yourself. Why does this pattern keep happening? Why do I keep walking my happy ass into these unhealthy relationships? Why do I have an unhealthy relationship with food? Why do I struggle to move my body into exercise? Why do I feel like I have to carry the world on my shoulders? Ask yourself the really hard questions, and then give yourself the compassion, the grace, and the safe space within to just be honest. And your dreams are bringing up bits and pieces of the things that your soul is asking you to be honest about within yourself. So it's saying, let's clean this up. Let's purify this. Let's get this refreshed, because it's time for a new perspective. It's time for a new view. It's time to bring these pieces that were once in the unconscious or subconscious mind into your conscious reality, and recognize what is right for you and what isn't. What is the gift that you are here to be for the world? Not that you're here to give to the world, but be in your beingness in the world, because that matters first. You being the gift that you're meant to be. You may look into runes, especially the Elder Futhark. You may be drawn to horticulture. I think it's electro gardening is what it's called. Clear crystal quartz, strawberry quartz, lemon quartz. Blue sage in specific is coming through really strongly. And finally, the last message that I have for you is, if your dreams are telling you about something in your conscious reality, then is it possible for your conscious reality to be as beautiful as the dreams you have always held for it to be? Why can one be true without the other being true? Or can they? Can you bring those two together into your life? Can you purify that perception that you're not capable? Listening to the messages of your guides, recognizing that you aren't here to save everybody else. You're here to grow from the soul for the soul in this life. And when you let go of that obligatory perspective, I'm obligated to do this because X, Y, and Z. I must do this. It is expected of me. And we all hate to be perceived as failures. We hate to perceive ourselves as failures. I don't care who you are. I don't care how positive and uplifting it can be. I invented the light bulb, but I invented 10,000 ways not to it, whatever. I know the quote. I just can't pull it out of my brain right now. But my point here is, those motivational quotes are more often than not said after the grand invention has really taken off into the world, after the dream has been made manifest. But I tell you what, at that 9,000th failed attempt, I'm sure Thomas Edison was in his lab or whatever it was, and he was swearing up a storm, dropping F-bombs, screaming, throwing shit, and going, how the fuck do we do this? He didn't quit. And in doing so, changed the face of the world, really. gave us light in a completely new way. You have that inside of you. You have that inside of you if you allow it to be. All right, Taurus, this is your message. I am going to leave it here because it's been almost an hour and this took almost a month to come through. So I am so very grateful for each and every one of you, for whoever this finds, whenever it finds you, for your engagement, for your love, for your support, and just for your existence. Thanks, dude. All right, Taurus, my loves, take some time out to give some gratitude to your guides. I know I'm very grateful for them. I'm very grateful for my own as well. And if you guys want to support my channel, cool, go for it. Hit a like, subscribe, you know the drill. If you just want to check in from time to time, I will see you soon. Love you guys. Bye.